be a treat for me again. Jason Grant, let's hear it for him.
You know, usually when I hear my name called out like that, it's usually something like the defendant will rise. Is that Matt Damon? Wasn't he a bottom in his last movie? Hell, his time has come, man. Oh! Where's the damn? We're paying union for this, I hope.
That's why we can't have nice things.
I tell you what,
It was like his last day.
you were the one looking in the car window, right? I knew I'd ran into you somewhere before.
That's me.
Told you to stay on Craigslist. What kind of show are you running here, Chili? I'm going to go back and fuck Matt, if you don't mind. I'll probably do that a little better than this. I mean, what the hell? Hell, I completely lost where I was at. I mean, I don't know. I know what half of you were thinking right now. Who let the pedophile retired gym coach up on stage? I'm just telling you, misjudged me. He was a scoutmaster. He's thinking, how do I get to see him naked? Let me tell you, it's a lot easier than you think. Make all your prayers come true before the night's over. Deliverance is one of my favorite movies. Still showing at the family reunion, too. In fact, I think I got fired from one of my jobs for the squeal like a pig ringtone. Apparently when the girl was selling Girl Scout cookies at the door and it went off a few times, the cops were at the house like, yeesh. And much like Matt a few minutes ago, I lived at my parents' house way too long as well, man. And unfortunately the arrangement came to sort of a bitter end because at a certain point Social Security realized the checks were being forged. The police showed up, they dug up the backyard, or as I call it, the garden. They really didn't find all that much except a pair of old handcuffs and a bloody clown suit, which doesn't fit anymore. I come from a bit of a strange family, there's no doubt about it. I'm not making it up, folks. I had to live with a mixed marriage. My dad was German, my mom was a hillbilly. And they sort of had an ethic. So 1970s, it was as if 270 hillbilly porn stars got together and decided to raise a family and stage the longest production of Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. Only with a lot more booze, drugs, all kinds of crazy shit. Now I remember, because I don't know if they meant to warp my psyche, but they did it nevertheless. A young teenage boy who looked a lot like me, in fact it was me, before the split personalities. At any rate, I get up one morning and my dad is happily hosing off the side of the house, which I hasten to point out did not have wheels on it, okay? I just want to make sure that one stroke we didn't fit into, the house actually had a foundation. The vomit is streaming down the side of the house where my parents' bedroom is, the window, and I go inside and my mother's a tad upset and I'm asking her, well, what happened here? She says, well, last night we were at a party. I had a little too much to drink and I was hanging my head out the window there, and as I was heaving, your dad was hoeing back there taking his marital privilege. And I'm like, thanks for the word picture, Mom. Appreciate that. You realize masturbation's out for the next week, and for a 13-year-old, man, that's more than I should possibly fucking need. So I ended up, what can I say? I mean, did I end up creepy? Yes. Do I look like the kind of guy who's going to be showing up for an extended segment of To Catch a Predator? Well, of course. I look like the kind of guy who's going to get bunny hopped into the back of the police cruiser, wearing the one-piece leopard print body stocking, codpiece. I didn't know whether the codpiece was going to obscure the male camel toe, and then I saw the male camel toe and decided to go with the codpiece. And I have a bottle of Everclear, zip ties, duct tape, lube, and I'm saying, I was just going to talk, I was just going to tell her, that this isn't good for you. Don't do it. Yeah, right. So did I end up creepy? Hell yes, man. I got one of the top 3 creepy jobs, man. There's tattoo artist, there's cab driver, that would be me, there's full sedation dentist. Come on, folks. You wake up, buttons aren't quite done right, hair's mussed up, you're wildly satisfied. Dentist is buttoning up his shirt, stabbing out a cigarette. Oh. You're out. It's crazy. And I get this all the time, I've got a cab driver job. Everyone thinks it's some ridiculous, weird sort of porn sort of filled job. And God, it'd be lovely if it were, you know. I mean, I know that when young women especially see me, you know, the 350-pound seething volcano of male sexuality, who's hard on stage equipment, you know, they want to disrobe and do all sorts of wild and crazy, far-out things. Oh, hold on, that's a porn film that I rented back in the 80s, that's not true. You know, usually I get questions like, what's that thumping in the trunk? And it's like, that's a Jehovah's Witness, never going to sell a watchtower in my neighborhood again. You know, they ask, what's the craziest thing that ever happened on the job? And I'm telling you, it's true, man. It happened to me just a few weeks ago, back in the midst of summer. It was still warm out. I had this run late at night. I took this guy out to Whitmore Lake, or as I like to call it, Ipsy by the Sea. Believe me, I lived out there, you know. I sis, well, you ain't my blood sis, so this is all right. So I'm driving back from Ipsy by the Sea when I see this light fall from the heavens and materialize in front of me. It is a full-blown UFO, and I find my car pulled over and immobilized. I see 3 small creatures surrounding the vehicle, and they're probing me with their thoughts and their superior intellect, and they're telling me, you have been chosen, you have been selected to be a member of bizarre, inhuman, unnatural sexual experimentation beyond all imagination. And I should think only one thing. Jackpot. I'm a fucking winner. Smash cut to me about an hour and a half later, standing on the top of my cab, naked from the waist down, waving goodbye as they kind of totter off. And I can still hear their thoughts as they're trying to get back to the mothercraft. They're saying, what do you mean I have a pretty mouth? My mouth is as pretty as your mouth. I don't understand the difference. That's a lovely pearl necklace. The third one saying something like, you told me the pale ones were not this well endowed, you lied. Yeah, maybe I did. Whatever, you know, maybe you got the impression that next time they're just going to stick to, you know, cow mutilation, I don't know. They should have known they had the superior technology. They should have heard that you got a pretty mouth ringtone. I mean, whose fault is that, right? Well, look, one last little bit about my family, you know, and, you know, it's not the Manson family, but it's awful close. So, again, I am from Ipsitucky, no doubt about that, and I had a cousin, and she was a nice lady, except for the fact that she married 4 men, not all at the same time, we're not Mormon. We had the good taste to do one after the other, and each one was worse than the one previous before it, and the third one she had to shot, the fourth one, she damn near beat to death, he damn near beat her to death, and then he managed to get out of the marriage by dying. We didn't have any forensics done, but we're pretty sure of natural causes. She was a lady about it, she had him cremated, his name was Bob. And she had Bob's ashes put in a special box and put right up there on the mantelpiece in a little place of honor. And when she died, we read her will. And in her will it said, with Bob, he is to be placed in my casket at my feet and between my legs, the only place the son of a bitch ever did me any good. And I remember that special day as I lowered it right down there and I said, here you go, Bob. She got you right where she wants you. Took that dude's part. Oh, nah. You're going to be here for a long, long time. Well, folks, I think that's about all the stuff you're going to hear tonight. I mean, and like I say, the tether, I cut tether, which is a good thing that I didn't bomb tonight because I'd hate to get, you know, rearrested and I bombed at the same time. That would suck. You know, I mean, it's just a shame, you know, when you walk down the corridors there and you hear people whisper, I don't know, that looks like some guy, yeah, he looks like Burl Ives if he fucked John Wayne Gacy. Yeah. You know, what can I say? I got blessed with good genes, all right? You know? Like I say, it does keep the Jehovah's Witnesses off the porch. Listen, one last little bit of advice, and then I'm out here. If you have any sexual fetishes that involve gunplay, don't use fire as a safety word, all right? Let's see if I can put this away without busting up the whole place and setting it on fire, huh?